I saw a picture from like when I was younger the other day, and just the way I was dressed, my mom told me I used to cry when they put me in dresses to go to church on a Sunday, bawling. There's a picture of my dad dragging me, and I'm hanging like this because I just refused to wear that. All I wanted was, you know, Mr.
drip.
Price used to have red, that label.
Yeah, red.
With the
With that
flames.
flame.
And then you see me smiling with my two-piece. Little 3/4 with a flame on the side. I had the sandal with the flame, the shirt with the flame, and that's how I was going to church. I was just that person, man, you know? So sometimes you don't have to...
with flames on.
Yeah, from day one.
More fire.
Yeah.
Oi.
First thing in the morning at church.
You know, 9 o'clock.
Oh, man. Cheese boys, cheese girls, and the cheese gang. Yeah.
Mamela! Come on! Which one is this one?
From the internet to subscription.
From like, comment, and subscribe to a decoder.
Supersport.
Penny sports.
Understand? Mamela.
Super.
No need for mutlakasi. We are unplugged.
No.
Mamela, solar powered.
Come on.
Super sport.
Come on. Multiple cameras, my brother.
Bona.
Come on.
Not like our show where we shoot with one camera.
No,
all
not the
time.
one where we're facing forward like we're in a conference meeing. No, it is all of us.
Chance, can you feel that?
What?
Echo.
Why you are shooting? Yo. Man, I'm chilled here where I am.
Mamela. Ah, man. Cheese boys, cheese girls, and the cheese gang. And to all our viewers watching us on Super Sport Unplugged, welcome to a super special episode of Popcorn and Cheese,
Yes,
Super
sir.
Sport Unplugged.
Right?
Before I introduce our awesome guest, I want to introduce everyone that's in the studio right now. The man behind the microphone, Limpopo's finest, third most famous person from Leboakgo.
Yeah.
Please put your subscription hands together. Make some noise. Give it up for the one, the only,
Titi, turmeric, the barbarian.
On Super Sport, Papa.
Ghostman boy.
Yeah.
And of course, ladies and gentlemen, dancing sensation, son of a poet and a mother.
Yes.
Please put your digital hands together. Give it up for a man who has a size 26 waist and chest. The one and only Robot Boy Mzimbuli.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
the host with the most. The one who's taking over every TV show. The stand-up comedian who's sitting down so that you can understand him. President of the Yellow Bones.
President.
The one and only. Mpopops Morikwane.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
Jesus.
Guys, today we have our guest today, boys.
Our guests are even better than the other guest on the other one.
What's this?
Titi Manja.
So you go to subscription, you change.
Now you change now.
I'm
Different
doing-
studios, now you're a different person.
It's doing better, you know.
Aich.
It does that too.
It's leveling up.
But this is not lying. Because now we are sitting with Olympic stars.
Yeah.
Mamela.
Eish.
People who have redefined
I understand.
what dance is.
People visas to go dance.
Mamela.
Yeah?
International dancers. Abafeli kokong. They go further. They conquer the world.
Conquer the world.
Kind of world.
What is that?
Man, ladies and gentlemen, help us welcome our guest here today, B-Girl, DJ, Mamela, the one and only,
Yes.
Courtnaé Paul.
Yes.
Olympia.
You're welcome.
Courtnaé.
Hey, man, I'm happy to be here. This is nice. And well done for the upgrade.
Right?
Would you have to give it back?
Yeah, Courtnaé, Pella, these are your pictures.
Okay, Askis. Yeah.
We are serious here.
Yeah.
You see?
It's not bad.
Collage.
You know?
All these gigs you were doing, we had our photographer there.
Yeah?
Yes.
We knew that one day we'll get here.
Fire.
We're going to talk to you about this pose later.
Yeah.
Courtnaé. Yeah, we'll get there.
That's the one I was doing at Conquer.
Oh, was this your podcast?
The yoga step.
They said, that one out.
And then you said, no more. No more. Let me go.
There,
DJ.
Pele, you don't dance for sports there. At Conquer, you dance for life.
When you started dancing, did you you dance for life? What do you mean for life?
Kilo, have you ever had to dance for your life? You know?
Or like when people say someone is rapping as if the rent is due.
Yes.
Like that?
Have you ever danced when you are sweating, but you have to dance to survive?
Courtnaé,
Welcome to the show.
welcome to
we
the
are
show.
unplugged
Yeah,
today.
we're unplugged.
Yes,
We're
I see
unplugged.
so.
I want to know, when you started dancing, bro, like, was the plan to do this thing as a career, or were you just dancing just to enjoy life in J?
Yeah, I was just doing so. I don't think I was even dancing, to be honest. It was never part of the
Hectic.
plan. I come from Red Hill in Durban. Like, you play soccer outside, barefoot on the cement. You kick the stones for sport. You know, like you climb a
What?
tree. It was never part of the plan. I did gymnastics, soccer, kickboxing. 11 or 12, I go to a Pentecostal church. They're having Lollapalooza there on the stage. Yeah, yeah. People are dancing. I'm like, oh, first time I saw dancing.
Yeah.
Was at church.
Yes.
Completely by chance. I go, let me take that thing and add that little handstand I had. Let's see. And it seemed to resonate with people, man. Like, only once I really got into it, Bat Center years, kind of fast forward, come to Joburg, I realized, oh, breaking. Like, this thing exists. I had no idea.
So you were doing it by yourself, and then you kind of found a whole world.
Yeah, like if you think back in the Missy Elliott era, you know, the Adidas tracksuit and people were doing stuff like that. It was the year of the music, the dance movies, and all these things where it's like you would see glimpses of it. But where I grew up, like people were doing like sequence dancing. You know, there were crews, but it wasn't like how we know it now, man. So breaking really, it completely blew my mind when I saw it being done in like a formalized something.
Did you have toys growing up?
I used to push the bricks outside in the sand.
Exactly, I knew it.
Like,
People
you
with
know?
no toys.
No, we had to make a plan.
Yes. People with no toys. You didn't grow up with
Had to
toys.
find something
They're the
to
most
do.
creative person ever.
Yes.
Yes.
Because when you don't have toys, you're there.
Yeah, just. And then your father's like, I'm gonna give you something to dance about.
Wait, so with the sports that you were doing,
Yeah.
you mentioned two, right?
Ballet.
No.
You said gymnastics. Sorry.
Gymnastics.
Can you imagine though?
Yeah, I see.
Because I don't know, I don't think you realize what you also asked though. Because she saw dancing from church, and then she took the gymnastic stuff and put it together, which is almost breakdancing, flexibility and rhythm.
There's a
in
lot
terms
of there's a lot of things that breaking borrows from. Martial arts, tricking, capoeira. So all these things that I was doing, even from a kickboxing lens, like I learned how to use fast twitch muscles, which in my dancing kind of makes me
popping and
different from like how a lot of other females will break.
Yeah.
So it's quite an interesting thing to see how like I spent years doing something, years something else, and all of it was like a little amalgamation into what you're seeing today.
That's crazy. You low-key fell in love with something that existed that you didn't know existed
Yeah.
yet.
That's why when people always say like, how did you know you liked hip hop? I'm like, I was just that thing, man.
Yeah.
Like, I was always just that thing. Like, I saw a picture from like when I was younger the other day, and just the way I was dressed, my mom told me I used to cry when they put me in dresses to go to church on a Sunday, bawling. There's a picture of my dad dragging me, and I'm hanging like this because I just refused to wear that. All I wanted was, you know,
the
Mr.
drip.
Price used to have red, that label.
Yeah, red.
With the
With that
flames.
flame.
And then you see me smiling with my two-piece. Little three-quarter with a flame on the side. I had the sandal with the flame, the shirt with the flame, and that's how I was going to church. I was just that person, man, you know? So
man.
sometimes you don't have to...
with flames on.
Yeah, from day one.
More fire.
Yeah, yeah.
Oi, oi.
First thing in the morning at church.
You know, 9 o'clock.
Oh, man.
That's
And
crazy.
so, like, because there's a lot of dance moves that you can gravitate towards as a child. So then, were you formulating something that kind of seemed like be dancing, or
Yes.
or you knew
I
what?
don't know whether to say B-girl or B-boy.
Yeah,
man.
you know,
Yeah,
just
Shimon,
be
I didn't
something.
know how to.
Just be yourself.
Yes.
Angusha. So what I'm saying is that was that amalgamation of all the dance moves that you think that was the best way to do it, breakdancing, or was it like something that you learned about while learning all those other dance moves?
It's a weird one for me because I never had the intention to go out and dance. So even when I would be put on stage, when I think about it, like my first professional show, I was 15. And it was a Bollywood show at Suncoast.
Oh my God.
So I see this thing in the paper, and I danced for like a local artist who was in the church at the time, which is a conversation for another day. But I see this like audition, and I'm like, let me go. But at this point, I've never had training. Like, there's no money for studios and all this. But family thinks I'm wasting my time, which I was, and their money. You know, I really was. And I go to this audition, and they're like, listen, for this, you're gonna have to sing Hindi. You're gonna dance the Bollywood, blah blah blah, barefoot. You're gonna wear the two-piece, but we'd like you to do a solo, like a hip hop solo, like if it's fire. So I'm like, oh, what? That's cartwheel? Yeah. And that's how I got my first show. So I got to choreograph the one hip hop segment and do a solo, but I had to do X, Y, and Z. So I think a lot of my journey has been because I'm just open to like, okay, if this is going to get me to my goal, I'm going to do it. It makes no sense that I would have gone and done that thing, but if it's going to get me to where I want to go,
help where you're
sharp.
supposed to be.
You've said so much, and I wanna come back.
Okay.
First of all, who was the artist? Who was the artist? Story for another day.
yeah.
Cool, sharp. But did you end up doing everything else to get to the breakdancing bit?
100%. If I look at what my early days look like, I mean, I was still in high school, right? So from grade 8, I kind of got into the dancing thing. And it's just a very weird, like being a colored female in Durban, it's like, you don't know what you're doing. I'm also like a tomboy from birth, so it's like a very weird space to exist in. So I started a little backup dancing here and there, but I always felt like, why do the guys get to do the cool stuff? Why is he doing the flair? Because I can do that thing, man. So it took a long time. I mean, I was terrible at the time, but my confidence, it was through the roof.
And it's the drive.
Exactly, and I was just like, I'm gonna keep pushing because I know I'm not the girl at Conquer. Like if I was in the hot shots, you'd be like, please leave. Like, please do it. It's terrible, right? It's just not me. So I had to really dig into who I was as a person in order, like I needed to believe it to make you believe it. So yeah, it was an interesting one. I did the Bollywood shows. I did every Sweet 16, 21st, 40th, wedding, whatever at the ICC. I did everything from the Golden Horse casinos to Sugar Mill. I even danced at the robots at one stage.
Come on.
For some
Really?
For the 2010 World Cup. Not this robot, like a real one.
Like a functional
Yeah, the
robot.
real-
Here to dance together.
On NMR Drive. I remember my cousin drives past me that morning and she's like, are you okay? Are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine, cousin.
Enjoying it, and it's a
This is my
passion.
cousin with like an education. She's in banking. She's in risk management and all these things. New
And
business.
she's driving
and
past
then
things.
and she's like, "Are you okay?" She still pulls over. She goes to the garage. She's like, "Here's some drinks." I'm like, "Thanks so much." Like I was just happy to do anything moving in my direction. Like I don't think I made money for years. I don't think it just didn't make sense. But there was something in me that was like, "Go to that robot." Show that robot.
That is,
You know?
that's insane.
And look at you now.
I'm showing the robot.
Speaking to
You are
the
showing the
robots.
robot. Look at you now.
That is amazing.
In your journey, did you ever?
Go.
No, you go.
No, I was gonna say in your journey, right? There's obviously like a lot of stuff that inspired you and your career and your dancing. I picked up on dance culture from movies, personally. You know what I mean? Like the Who Got Served. And the, you know,
You
Save
Got
the Last. Is it You Got Served?
Yeah.
And Save the Last Dance. Is it Save the Last Dance?
There is that one, yeah?
The
Isn't it that one?
no
Where he
man.
picks her up?
Which one was it?
Honey.
Honey.
There's
Honey with
Honey.
the
I love honey, yeah.
yeah.
There was one with the white girl who fell in love with the black dude.
Yes, I
That
know
is
that
Save
one.
the
But
Last
yes.
What's the one where they pick the lady up?
Yes, but wait, that's an older version.
and she
I know
does-
which one
then
you.
She does the hip hop.
terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I know which one.
What
No, but
movie?
that was all like it's terrible now, but,
But
at
they
the
were
time,
iconic at the time.
They were
Really
iconic.
were.
They
opened
They
big.
really
and then of
were.
course we had Jiga Majiga, right?
Standard.
So would you say you also drew a lot of your inspiration from that time, that era?
I think.
And what movie kind of like cemented
Firstly,
it? for you?
Chica Majiga is a very special one for me because I remember they came to shoot in Durban.
Yeah.
And I get the call, can you come judge? I'm like, what? Because I mean, I'd watched this thing on TV for years.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh my word, amazing. I go there, I walk in, green, skinny jeans.
You're from JJ's.
Stand up.
Yes, you remember that time?
Guys,
Stand
please.
up.
I really was on something. Hey. And I walk in and Tembi's like, "Ow, my hip hop baby." And for me, that was just like a nice moment, man. Because again, I'm sitting in a room full of people where the dance styles are quite specific. I'm probably the lightest one in the room, so I know when I walk in there, like, like, why is this white girl here in the first place? So I feel like when you talk about inspiration, it's this thing of like little touch points that happened where people were giving me validation, but at the same time going, I know I'm going to have to prove myself to you from the ground up every single time. And I still do that today. There's not a time that I get on stage, whether I'm dancing, DJing, going to a shoot, that I don't have to build your confidence in me from the ground up, purely based on what I look like, who I am, where I come from, and that people generally struggle to relate to me because this is a very weird thing. You know what I mean? It's not like it's a weird. He's like disgusted, like, this thing is weird, man.
Yo, I want to ask.
Yeah.
Sorry. You spoke about this is something you used to watch as a kid, and now you're on it, right? At which point, even from dancing, coming up in high school, at which point did you realize that this is the right thing to do? And besides that, I've made it, but I made the right decisions to get me to where I'm at now. Do you remember that moment in your?
To be honest, I don't. I don't think there was a specific moment. Even when you say like I made it, I don't think I've made it. I don't think, like you asked earlier about a big break, I don't think I've had that either. I think I've just had consistent, like I work towards things and I'm consistent about it. And there obviously have been moments that have changed the direction or the whatever, but for me, I'm not that girl. I'm not the girl that's going to go viral based on something. And I've accepted that. It's not going to happen overnight. So the only time you're going to see me is when I've done the work for years. Like for me sitting here, this is probably because of work I did 5 years ago, if I'm completely honest. And the things that I'm doing now, I'm going to see in another 5 years. And I've had to be okay with what my trajectory looks like. Because I'm not the girl in the bikini behind that deck. When you see that, things
must
are
call you.
bad. Please help
We'll
me.
phone you.
Help me. Send me an
We'll
e-wallet
call
or
you.
something. Like,
So when we're seeing you DJing with a bikini, underpen.
Yeah,
It's a
send
pro-
help. But it'll probably be like a boxer.
Like gang.
Take on the decks.
Sorry, Titi, you wanted to ask.
What I wanted to say is that we're going to go back just a little bit because you're saying that you need people to build their confidence in you. How do you, as the performer of that thing, because in comedy, I know exactly when I have the confidence of the audience member, especially going into something like a Jika Majika at the time where I can imagine that you're saying a lot of things were different. It was in Durban. It was the first time. Like, how can you tell that, okay, now I'm at the right point of the right confidence at the right moment with the crowd and myself, and going forward from now on, Gaba flex each other?
Yeah. I think it's because, let me put it this way. So on one end, because I never had dance training, like in a specific way, I pick up dancing very quickly. So whether it's this type of style that like I'm able to relate most of the time to what's happening around me. So that makes it a little bit easier. But the difference is that I've done the work myself. So yes, I've got to build your confidence. I don't say I have to build mine. I walk in there knowing exactly what I'm capable of, what I come to do.
Self-love.
Yeah, because I've done the work. Not just because I have an ego for no reason, but because the work has been done. You know what I mean? And I think that's how I have to be. I have to be somebody who, when I'm DJing, I know what I'm doing. I have to be someone when I'm on stage, I know what I'm doing. Because for people like me, the opportunities are not like, it's fine, we'll get her back. No. Already when I walk in, you're like, why is this person here? Like, what does she have to prove, if you know what I mean? Like, for example, a couple of weeks ago, I got invited to speak at a Forbes Women's Africa event. Walk into the room, here, international businesswoman. I'm there in a sneaker, a little Jordan 1, And the concept of it was so ridiculous to me, because what was I doing in this room? This one's got a triple master's in this, and I'm like, I got a matric, guys, and I did a diploma. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what am I going to speak to them about that they can relate?
Yeah.
And the way the talk went is that I eventually had so many of them afterwards, like, thank you for this, I took this from that. And I think that's what my career has been, where I'm not saying I know everything and that I can't learn, but I have a lot to teach because of the experiences I've been through in life.
Actual
and that's
doing.
what it is. Like, I'm always a student. But I've put the work in, so I'm very confident with what I'm able to give.
I love what you said there, because Steve Harvey, who's a comedy mentor of mine as well, also speaks about the fact that he got
Casual.
I know, right? Just like light.
he got no, man, like
No, but it's fine.
not like we speak.
Oh, you just
I
saw
look
him,
up
you're
to
like,
him.
that's
Yeah.
not it.
The way you said it.
Oh, that's it.
I know, right? Like 60 episodes deep, and now the Super Sport
find
or
out-
Steve Harvey is my best friend.
Uncle Steve and I.
Because you're on Super Sport
Now on
now.
Super Sport, no, Steve Harvey, my best friend, last week said to me on a WhatsApp voice note,
how
hi,
I'm
boo, hi, boo.
But okay, I see what you mean.
Hey, the way you said it. It's the way you
Five
said
answers
it.
on the ball. Survey says.
You know? Okay, I'm with you.
No, so Uncle Steve.
Yes.
Yeah, you know.
Thought you were
Uncle-
talking about the half mayor.
No, Uncle Steve was talking about. Did you say Hofmey?
No.
Wow. Uncle Steve was talking about the fact that he got invited to speak in a room full of billionaires and people who were like multi-millionaires. And that's how he felt. The way you described, he felt like, who am I? You know, I'm going to speak to people who are captains of industry, billionaires, people who control this and this and this. And he was like, and I'm just a guy, you know, who
With the mustache.
used to sleep in his car and
the mustache,
with the mustache and the implant high top, and he said what those guys. So after his talk, they were grateful to him, much like how you described, and they were like, "There's certain life lessons that we got from you that we would have never gotten from the people around us. Most of us in this room inherited this money. Most of us don't know what it's like to come from nothing and turn nothing into something.
Yeah.
We've all been given opportunities our whole lives. We don't know what it's like to start from scratch. And I think that's what you've been able to do with your career, right? With you as a person. You've been able to build everything we see today into life from nothing. You know what I mean? Did you go to a DJ school? Did you go to a dance school? This is all you. You know what I mean?
But you know, yes, but also when you say that, I think it's important to note that like no person is a village. Is a village.
No person is a
Really, I didn't go to school either. Yes,
No one is a village.
Pamela,
No man
new
is an
studios,
island.
but same
No
English.
person is a village.
Yeah,
It
because
takes-
you're
it
one
takes many
person, you're
people
not a
to make a
village.
village.
No, it still made
Many
sense,
people
man.
to make a village.
It still made sense. You can't be a village on your own.
No man is an
you know
island?
What I mean? No, exactly. Ding ding. So, no man is an island. So, even though I feel like most of my journey's been quite a like singular, lonely one, and for the most part it is, especially as an elite athlete and the things that I go through in a day, it's very difficult for anybody to understand what my day looks like or what I'm experiencing. There's been so many people along the way that if they didn't play the role that they did, I wouldn't have been here.
Yeah.
Because you don't get to, I think, be any type of anything within your space without people who can guide you or have come before you or even say to you, hey, slow your roll, or that's not for you, or that didn't come across the way you thought it did, you know? And I think because of that, I've had to be like hypersensitive and hyper aware of everything around me. How do I respond to things? How do I take things in and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, it's not like just did it on my own. But yeah, it's been a very long journey.
Yeah.
So did you have any templates of whatever you were trying to achieve? Do you actually have any template of what you're trying to achieve? Or is the template whatever you're building?
I think that I always love this question because when I started in the scene, I guess, and again, it wasn't a decision, it was just kind of happening to me, you know?
Yeah.
I always think of when, like my dad passed first couple months into grade 8. So my life immediately turned on its head. And he was the one, like, I'm taking you to gymnastics. He used to coach soccer in the area, come play. I was the only girl on the team. So he really instilled that thing of like, if there's boys in the room, it's fine, go. You know what I mean? So I always had that thing about me, but also I always had a really big colored man standing behind me saying, go do it, you know? So when he disappeared, it really changed the dynamic of who I thought I was as a person. I stopped gymnastics because my mother wasn't really into it. Like, you know, she was working full time and blah, blah, blah. And then it saw this kind of shift in me where I suddenly had to play a very different role in my household. We had to grow up very fast. At one stage, I was driving my mother to work. I'm not sure why. I was in high school. I wasn't legally allowed to drive. But I understood my mother needed that person. You know, so I was
Like,
just
you had
trying
to
to do
fill that
whatever I
gap.
needed to do. I had a 4-year-old sister, and my life changed. And I think that dancing became this thing of like, I have no choice but to make this thing work. I always knew that I wasn't gonna sit in an office all day. I don't think I'd last. I'd probably get fired in the first 20 anyway. Like, but with the with the blueprint, I always sit back and I go, what was I supposed to follow? Like when I look back, I used to watch Backstage. Losha Cooper was the only colored woman I ever saw on
Holding
TV
it down.
dancing. And even then she used to do contemporary. So it's like, that makes sense because people understand that thing, they respect that thing. But what I'm saying, let me do the handstand, you don't get that thing. Like, you know what I mean? So even that, I felt like I get it, but it didn't really make sense. Then you go, okay, what about gay people in the scene? There's Somizi, who's still a black man within the scene, and gay men are often given this pass. Like, they're
references with
funny and they're
scars,
cool
yeah.
to be around, and their lesbians are known to be like, we ever ready to fight. Which is weird to me, like, you know? So, like, you know, I'm not saying we won't fight, but I'm saying we're not just
try
coming
me.
out to fight, you know? So there's all these little stereotypes you're fighting along the way while still trying to figure out, like, what am I actually doing, man?
Yeah.
Sure.
Go through a high school, get my first sponsor, DC shoes, shout out to them. You know what I mean?
Like
I
a
could have
scared
been
girl.
16. Yeah,
I know,
I would
right?
look like a skating boy. Like, yeah, I was rocking. And I got my first flight to Joburg through them. I was almost 18 at the time. Now I'm clocking almost 30 countries off this thing. But at 18, I had never been on a flight.
Yeah.
So a large part is just like kicking doors open and running through the ones that
doing.
open. But also being so okay that if it opens and I know it's not for me, I'm happy to moonwalk right out of there.
That's a principle that is so important
You know?
that I think a lot of people watching this should take and hold down. Like, if it's not for you, be happy to not just moonwalk because you're a dancer, but like step away from what you don't feel at peace with and what you understand is not for you. And like,
Step away or step up? Step away.
you know, so that's crazy. And
So
like,
that's
shout
always
out to
been an
that thinking and
important
for where you've come.
thing for
Like,
me. Thank you, man. Like, because again, it's a weird thing where you're kind of building a blueprint as you're going. Because I can tell you now, 10 years from now, if not shorter, you're going to have a bunch of professional B-girls who can walk into a Red Bull office and go, yo, this is what I expect. Because we've gone through the trenches of like I think I came into their orbit 2012. There's a picture of me in a cypher. All the wooders, all the boys standing around me like, and I'm there in the middle of the cypher. Nobody cared. But I was like, and the guys in the office will tell you, my argument was always, one day you're going to see, you know? And I think they just got tired of telling me to leave.
And I think we are seeing now, because I think I remember you in Jigamaji.
Is it?
Yeah.
Did I have the green pants on?
Yes, I think I remember you. I think I remember. You were not dancing with the people. You were,
I
you
was
were
the
judging.
judge. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I remember. I remember though.
Pops, he remembers. On that note, what's the most? Do you have like the most proudest moment in terms of always being looked down upon, or the guys like, yeah, show us what you got, and a moment where you really did something so great or a comp that's so dope for them to go, actually, yo, we done hating, man. Courtnaé, you the shizness. Do you remember one of those moments?
My entire career, man.
Oh! Drops mic. Drop that mic. Throw it on the floor, Courtnaé.
Whose mic is it?
It's not ours, it's Super Sport. That's what I'm saying. Throw it.
No, man.
Drop it.
Drop it.
After. When I'm done using it, I'm like,
When it's
drop
done,
kick it.
after the episode, yeah.
Oh, I've never had those moments, man. And even when it's people who have kind of spoken ill or, you know, closed doors on me, I've never had the 360. It kind of just, you notice the change. Hey, how you doing? Hey, shout out, I saw this thing. But there's never that moment. And I don't know if I can score it to, maybe we were just young kids and, you know, it was part of the game, hating on you, hating on me, whatever. But I think, I always say I've never had a big moment. Yes, I've done some really cool things in my
stuff,
life, which I'm proud of. But when people always go like, tell us about yourself, what have you, I hate that thing, man. You can go read my bio somewhere if you want to. I've done everything I set out to do. But that for me is not the thing that, like, for me, I've changed my life. I change my family's lives, the people around me. I affect change in the things that I do. And that's important for me. I'm not interested in being like for me, it's a weird thing because the industry is like, there's a certain level of visibility you need to have. And it's weird mixed with me, who's somebody who's like, I want you to know what I do. I don't need you to see me like just. Yes, it's very difficult for me. And I think there's been so many teams who have attempted to work with me over the years. And that's the first thing they say, like, we need to get you here. I'm like, I don't want to go there. And I get it. But I'm just not that
who you
person.
are.
Yeah. Like if I'm not working somewhere or doing something, guys, no.
You know, they say I give a lot of flowers, nah? But I'll give you these flowers here, this bouquet. Think about the journey that you're talking about. You're somebody who did not know that you wanted to do something. You just knew that you kind of wanted to inspire, right? Then you go and you set out into the world and you inspire all these people throughout your own desires. And today, somebody looking at you, and I can tell from talking to you, you don't ever consider yourself the top dog. It's always like, I just need to do my work and get out. But now, think about it. If somebody is looking at breakdancing, today, they're not just looking at a sport where they can go make a bunch of money or get a couple of endorsement deals. They're looking at something that they can go to the Olympics for, which you are you're the pioneer of something like that ever happening for a girl or a guy dreaming about that thing in South Africa. So I think that even though you are all about your work and stuff like that, maybe take 2 steps behind and just look at it from where we are looking at it, because that's where I see it from.
2 steps behind.
It's 2, or more, more steps, because you're a size 2.
We are the same size.
What do you mean?
We are literally the same size.
But yeah, for me, that's what matters the most, because even if one day, you choose not to dance and you choose some other thing, the second ever break dancer to come from South Africa will be somebody that looks up to people that did the work that you do.
I appreciate
I like what
it, man.
Titi
Thank you
says.
so
Like,
much.
you've gone from creating this out of nowhere to becoming a reference point. So when we think big girl, you're the first person that comes up in our country.
Sure.
You're our point of reference, right? I want to know from you as a dancer, right? Because you've now ventured into DJing. As a dancer, and this is something that the both of you can talk to. As a dancer, do you dance to the beat?
Or beat to the dance.
Or beat to the dance?
Wait, what?
Does the beat determine how you move?
Yeah.
Or do you move to the beat?
Specifically when I'm DJing?
No,
Or like what the crowd is feeling when I'm playing?
So with you venturing into DJing, right?
Yeah.
'Cause I know with a lot of if you look at the Jabberwockies and those dance crews, they end up making their own music because they want to move a certain way, and there aren't any songs available for them.
Oh, I see. Like the production of it or the mixing of it.
Yes.
Okay.
So
that's actually how I got into DJing, and I've been DJing for a very long time. People just think that I'm not as outside as much as I should be. And technically, I don't care to be. I'm not the person who's going to play in the club every week. Don't call me. I'm sleeping at 9. I'm not interested. You know what I mean? Like, if I can do a couple festivals a year, that makes me happy. Because I'm that guy. I want to connect with the crowd. Like, even my music selection, like I've got a bit of an eclectic taste. Yes, I play hip hop and I play Afro. Stuff you'll know, but the way I play it is a little bit different. So I need the crowd to want to have that moment with me as opposed to just stay in the club. You know what I mean?
impress us.
Yeah, no. Like, you're either coming to dance or
You
go
can
home.
see I've bought alcohol with sparkles.
Exactly. You know?
This alcohol is coming like a spare ice cream.
With boxer girls.
Come sing along.
So that's how I started DJing, man. Like, I was backup dancing for Toya DeLazy at the time.
Oh, dope.
And Toya's manager, Anthony Morgan, shout out to him. He was just like, why don't you DJ? There's no females that, there's not a lot of them in the space. So I was like, actually, that's true. Like, especially in the hip hop space, right?
Yeah.
Because I was making mixes already. We'd do performances, whatever, and I was always the one making the mixes. And then I went and bought like a secondhand controller. It was $2,000. DJ Nifty took me to Pretoria somewhere. That thing barely even worked, but I was like, okay, cool. He showed me what does what, because he used to play for Toya. Showed me what does what, and for then, again, just became an obsession where like I just enjoyed what I was doing. And for me, music, dance, it's an obsession of mine. Because I'm sure there's much easier ways for me to go about making a living. You know what I mean? Like, than having to stand on my head 6 hours.
Dance at robots.
Anything. And
Sell
my cousin
energy
comes
drinks
past
at
and
the
gives me
robots.
drinks there, like, could
Make
be
people
easy.
go, oi.
Everything with the
It
robot.
could be easy, man. So yeah, that's how I got into DJing. And then for the first couple of years, I was doing a lot of radio stuff. I played on Fresh's show when he was at 5. Then I think he went to Metro. I went with him there.
He
Then he was at
after. And then
is it
7.
947 actually.
Exactly.
Good save.
Thank you. And I played there too. So again, like I was doing all these things because breaking didn't have platforms, man. So I was still doing my thing, but breaking didn't have the platforms. Then Red Bull BC1 enters the Beagle category, where this was 2019, where the B-Boys, I think, already had a category since 2012 or 2007, if I'm not mistaken. So these things existed, but for females, it was just like,
Scarf.
"Hadi, bruh, we don't care." Like, you know what I mean? And that's how, for me, these two things married each other. If you're talking how people dance when I'm playing, yeah, it's how you feel it. You know, it's like if I'm working with an artist, I don't go there saying this is what the music is telling me to do. I go, what is this artist's style, especially if he's performing on stage with the dancers? And I need to marry the dancing to the music, because the music always comes first. People need to understand, when hip hop was born, first came the DJ, then came the breaker, like literally. The MC came last. The music is very, very important.
So then how do they judge it? How do they judge that this one is better than
like
this
in
one?
competition?
Well, yeah,
In a
I
battle?
guess. Yeah, let's start there.
So the way they judge breaking, one is very different to other sports because of the music element. So somebody like a Nifty comes, ready with his USB, I don't know what he's gonna play. It's not like I go there with my music on a
own
CD
set.
and say, play number 7, you know? And it's comparative. So if these two are versing, I'm not judging him based on what I saw that time or his overall score. It's comparative. Whose musicality is better? Because if you can backflip and I can backflip, what's the difference? How did we enter that thing? How did we exit it? Who landed on the beat? Whose was stronger? Who's had more detail to it? There's so many different elements to the way this thing is judged, which is why it's not like gymnastics, because that is purely on execution. You know what I mean? Performance to the T. This thing's got music. Now I must catch something here. I've got
creativity.
somebody standing in front of me who's calling out every time I hit the floor. It's called a crash. Like I'm saying, you messed up. I saw it. I'm calling out if you're repeating. I'm calling out if you're biting. It's a lot for your brain to process and then still go and perform. It's like war, man. It's like actual war.
It literally is like war. And
No, it's a lot.
Yeah, it really is like war. And I want to just add to Pops's question, right? In terms of the DJing and the dancing, there was a point where I was dancing to a lot of other people's music, and then Nigel, who's shooting most of the dope music videos that are out now, he was in the house at Pori's house, and he said, "Yo, bro, one day you must make your own song and then dance to your own music
And bring your own airtime.
And your own speakers.
And your own drinks.
No, guys,
Your own oxygen.
so
And you took it literally. You made your own drink.
guys, you know what? So
Just to survive the police.
I'm a police. How about my police?
Hey, the
So with
police are
that
too
element,
much.
do
You're the
you
police.
also feel like you being a DJ is like, because you know what it's like to be in a club and they're playing stuff you can't dance to,
Yeah.
or being in a comp where they're playing stuff that you can't battle to. Does that like come as a great advantage to you from being a DJ and you know exactly how you need to play and what you need to play for everybody that's there, or is it how you feel?
I think it's a mixture, man. One, I'm not going to play a gig solely to give you what you want to hear, because then you can plug in your phone and play your own playlist, right? Part of it is
aux cable.
part of a DJ's like job is to educate a crowd, which is why I say 99 out of 100. I'm not going to give you your top 40. If that's what you're looking for, I'm not the DJ for that. But if you want an experience, no problem, because then I can take you on a journey, right? I don't play the kind of music that I dance to in battles, so I've never had that issue. But it does give me a bit of insight, because I can hear most of the time where the DJ's going, where the transition's coming, where he's gonna scratch, blah, blah, blah. And then the flip to that is, as a dancer, obviously I'm very musical, which a lot of DJs actually aren't. A lot of them learn the technical side of it, but they don't have that feeling. Like, where should this mix come in? Where should the vocals start? So yeah, I think it gives me a bit of a
Them, they
leg
changed
up.
the song when we were starting to like
Just,
it.
you're about to Vosha and the song changes. Now you're halfway. Like, it's just,
verse on lemons and lemonade. Yeah, you must wait for that part, man.
Courtnaé, I want to know, right? You find out that your sport, the thing that didn't exist when you started doing it, is now considered for the Olympics. What was your initial reaction, bro?
I don't know what my initial. I thought it was a joke.
You were like,
I was like, no, man.
Leon Schuster's here somewhere. You're like,
I thought I was being punked. Like,
It's true.
because you must remember how this thing starts, right? So we go into lockdown. At that time, I'm rocking. I'm headlining the Met next to Black Coffee. Like, my career is doing this thing. We go into lockdown. BC1's added the Beagle category. I'm like, okay, cool. I get the call. At the time, I'm traveling. I could have been in Kenya. You know, I'm like, breaking, yeah. We go into lockdown. I'm like, what else can I do now? I have to start training. So Red Bull BC1 has a e-battle. I enter that thing. I come top 32 in the world. I go, wow. haven't been training forever. That means there's something here. Let me pursue this thing. I start to train. Then this thing comes up about breaking is now an Olympic sport. But nobody's really got a lot of information.
Yeah.
They're just saying, we're going
word
on
on
this
the
journey. You
streets.
must go to qualifiers. We're like, who's paying for this? How are we getting there? Like,
So you thought it was a bit of a scam?
yeah, it felt weird, man.
Yeah.
But it also felt very elitist, which it still feels like today. If you can't afford it, you can forget it. In the last year, I've gone from Morocco to Korea to
So
Japan.
you have to fund this yourself.
Yeah.
The trips, the stay, the.
How?
Most of the time when you get there, depending on the event, your accommodation is sorted by that federation. But if it's not like a world qualifier, like they have different touch points throughout the year, then those things come with different offerings. Sometimes you're
But
on
we
your
are
own
building
completely.
a flag
Where's your?
I bought my own flag last year.
for 20 million.
Where's South
Last
Africa
year
in this?
Bought her own flag. Yeah, where's the?
I bought my own tracksuit last year.
Where's South Africa? Where
I'm
is
waiting, dog. Like,
South Africa still waiting to?
I think the more we make leeway, then you start to see a little bit of movement. And it's cool. I don't expect you to just support
Same
right
time.
off the bat.
Yes, yes.
At
But
least
it
like,
also sucks, man, because...
But they'll support you when you're lifting
exactly,
the gold.
yeah. Yeah,
Well,
as long
very
as the hand
proud
is gonna
of
be on my
Courtnaé,
shoulder.
yeah.
Like,
hand on your shoulder.
exactly.
I have to nudge them.
Exactly. What the heck?
At least let them hold it.
Yeah.
Unlike other
What the
artists.
heck?
So that's been the journey, man. It's been really, and that's why I say I could do so many easier things. I could think of a million other ways to spend my money, man. You know?
Yeah.
Like, so it's been an interesting one. But I think slowly but surely we're gonna get it right. And it's just been an unfair journey from like a overall African lens.
Yeah.
We had one qualifier on the continent in 4 years.
Sure.
What?
Europe has something from 4 to 6 a year.
We get one as a continent.
Yeah. And it was in Morocco, where I had to fly to France and then back down.
Out of Africa,
Yeah,
back
to come
into
back.
Africa.
Whereas other people, they sometimes traveling, 3 hours to go compete. Now I travel all those hours. I'm getting there the night before because we don't have budget for me to go there for weeks.
Yeah.
I'm competing 10 o'clock the next morning. I'm trying to figure out where do I register. It's like a lot, man. Like Japan, beginning of last year, I get there, I blow out my shoulder in warm up. And I'm there by myself. I traveled almost 36 hours one way. I'm by myself. Other teams are sitting with a physio, a caterer, a manager. There's like 15 plus. South Africa. I'm there.
Courtnaé.
Like I'm just one guy.
Did you have a tracksuit?
Yeah, I bought it. I had to.
She bought everything.
I had to
she
buy the
has
tracksuit.
has
Everything
still.
she's done by herself.
Like we had to go and buy that thing.
So did you design the tracksuit as
No,
well?
it's a South African one. Like you can't do your own thing. But that's why,
Yeah,
like,
this comes in. Yeah.
Now you're pushing
Oh,
it.
yeah, just come
So
back.
that's why,
come
like,
back.
a Red Bull is very important in my journey, man. It's not like I phone them and I say, I need new shoes, and they hop, skip, and jump. But that's why these things are very important, because it's a very expensive thing.
Shout out to Red Bull.
Yeah.
You know what I
for
mean?
backing
Like,
you. Yeah.
So it's even now when I think of, like, I bought the Shanghai tickets a couple weeks ago, 25 grand just for my tickets.
And this is economy.
I'm gonna try closer to the time too.
Luckily you fit. You
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
business for you.
But at least it's those flights. Like it's
I'm
not
gonna
as-
dance for the robots to do the upgrade, but like this is just an example. That's just one thing that I do in a month. I'm not costing for my memberships, my trainers that I now have. I've got a trainer in the UK. I've got a trainer here.
Right.
I've got, and it's cool, but it's expensive, man.
Yeah.
Please talk to us about this process, bro.
Yeah.
Like getting ready for the Olympic qualifiers.
Yeah.
What you've sort of had to do to get prepared or in preparation of, versus what you've been doing, right?
Yeah.
Because the stage is different.
Yeah,
now.
very. Yeah.
So what are you doing to get ready?
Because
and,
also
and to make sure you
mentally-
qualify.
Yeah.
Also, mentally, from the conversation, we know that you are
Yeah.
very. Yeah.
Like, I know I owe you a call. And I just said to him, just give me some time.
Don't worry.
Like, yeah, and he's like, I know. So that's the thing. Honestly, this is to bring out the most selfish version of me that I've ever experienced, which is sometimes unfair to the people in my life, my person, my partner, my family, my friends. But when they understand what I'm trying to achieve, they don't mind it. And it's also pushed a lot of people away from me who seem to think, oh, you don't have to. And I'm happy with that, because if you don't get it, this thing is so
Forget
time
about it.
sensitive. It's taking, forget it.
Yeah.
It's taking just the output alone. I don't think people understand. And if I'm not 100% locked in all the time, I'm not going to get this thing done, because I don't have all the world-class facilities. I don't have that support structure that people have overseas. Like, there's a girl that I know, she's already qualified. If I tell you there's 5 people on her team that have conversations daily just about her well-being. Her physio says there's something in her ankle, who then relays to her coach, who then My physio has never spoken to my coach. Like, you know what I mean? It's these things that we aren't even aware of. People go, what do you need? I'm like, I don't know. I'm doing this for the first time. Speak to Casta Semenya a lot. Like, what is this? It's not the same.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because she's Casta Semenya at the end of the day. I'm like, yeah, guys, yeah, breakdancing, but nobody cares. So the process has had to change, and it's a lot of trial and error, where sometimes I don't know if I'm doing it right. And that's the fear. Am I doing enough? And which is also probably why I'm killing myself at the end of the day. But it consists of, obviously, hours of training and different types of training. So whether it's the endurance, it's the strength and conditioning stuff, it's the actual technical dance training, it's the competition dance training. Then you think of everything else that I need to earn money. So what do? I'm at gigs, I'm doing campaigns, I'm at shoots, I'm at... Whereas everybody else just gets to train, go home, and call it a day. And I must go compete against that person who's traveling 2 hours at most. I'm flying 18 hours in economy. You know? It's an interesting journey. That being said, I wouldn't change it for anything. I'm not interested in the easy way out, because I don't want to hear at the end of this journey like, but
You got it.
Courtney, I remember we did a campaign together where we did stuff over a couple of weeks, and in between that, I'd switch on my social media and I'd see you in snow. Dancing in snow. Then next week we're shooting. Oh, next thing, there you are. Eating origami, what in the Japan. So,
oh yes,
you know what I mean?
remember.
And I would see how quickly it was, because I would be with you, and then I'd see you the next day in another country, and then I'd see you dance. Right? And in my mind, I'm like, when are you recovering? When are you sleeping? When are you, you know? And I get it, the frustration of being a one-man band and constantly being on and whatever. What do you think you need? And I heard you say it now, where you go, I don't know what I need. But in terms of support, what do you think you need to help you get there? Because this is big. You're representing us, bro. You've got South Africa
and
on,
can I just say
on your,
that there's
on
only
your
2
back.
females in the country that have qualified for OQS.
Whoa.
None of the boys qualified.
Whoa.
And that's what I'm saying sometimes. And those guys are amazing, don't get me wrong. Look, when we went to Morocco, a lot went wrong. We were all sick. There was... Also remember, at the end of this, there are people. It's not a system that, you know, like if you and I are racing, who runs the fastest, there's a watch. We're fighting, I knock you out, I win. There's people going, does this make sense? No, we don't need this person. Maybe there's bias, maybe there's whatever. So we went through a lot when we went there. And like I said, there was just that one qualifier, so it's like do or die. But we were all sick. I got my battle bracket at 2 o'clock in the morning on Instagram. I didn't know what time I was competing the next day. Didn't know who I was competing against. I get there, I'm competing against a French girl who registered the day before. When this is an Olympic qualifier, supposed to verse only Africans. It's a continental. We are registered 2 weeks prior. Registration is closed. But there's, you know what I mean? So there's so many things going on, and then you just have to kick into gear, man. And I can't tell you how you... Once the thing happens, I go, oh, that would have been nice to have. You know what I mean? So through this journey, I've been, and again, that's why a brand like this is so important. I have access to people who manage their athletes. So I walk in there and I go, what does Sia Kolisi's recovery look like? And then they go, oh, well, this is what it is. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, I can't do that, but this makes sense for me. And
Insight and information.
yeah, so I'm I'm always learning. I'm listening to podcasts 24/7, sometimes murdery ones. So it's probably not the best.
Which one is your favorite podcast out of all
Just
of them?
out of curiosity.
Especially on
the ones
Supersport.
you-
I don't think there's any other one.
Like your favorite one, you know?
Oh, off the top of my head, with no pressure, no gun to my head, nothing. And someone's going to send me an e-wallet, popcorn and cheese.
Yeah,
I'm not just saying
no wonder
it.
you're going to the Olympics.
It's through platforms like this.
But serious people.
Yeah,
No,
you
so
know what?
that's definitely one of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like listening to murdery podcasts, like true crime. It just makes me feel,
Yeah,
Alive.
yeah, exactly. Makes me grateful.
I mean, you're killing the game.
Yeah, exactly. I need to figure out how to. And then a nice one is Mindset Win, which is a Red Bull podcast. And this seems all hectic and markety, but it's not.
Yeah.
So what they do is they speak to the athletes around the world. Right? So it can be NBA players, this one, that one. And that was the first time I really got to have one-on-ones with athletes who do this full time and understand what this thing,
Understand, yeah.
you know what I mean? And you hear them and they sit with like their performance psychologist. And you hear the mindset of what these guys say to them and how they prepare them mentally for what they're about to do.
Yeah.
Whereas for me, when I'm about to compete, my brain is like everywhere because I've got to do everything.
Yeah.
Have I even eaten today at this point? Do I have a water with me? Like, who am I competing against? Like,
Presentation, access.
You must
right?
plug that.
So it's those things and that constant like digging for information where I'm figuring out what I need along the way. But I don't think we're close enough to having a stable system yet where it's gonna be perfect. Doesn't exist.
But we're fighting. We're gonna get there.
Yes.
And listen, you have our support, bro. Like
Thank you, guys.
100%. You're carrying South Africa on your tiny back, you know. And if you look at our country right now, we're a bunch of winners, bro. We might.
And that's honestly, I've been watching. Like, honestly, I'm
are
very into sport,
killing
UFC, and what, and I'm just like, this is making me feel like the time is now.
I won't lie. I won't lie. Like,
Like,
there's just something, man.
It's the time.
Something.
Yeah.
Ish, man. Yeah.
I want to find out some of your more favorite things.
Yeah.
For one. Who's your favorite South African DJ at the moment?
Courtnaé Paul.
Or let's say who's your
I
favorite.
won't say me, it's fine. Honestly, I think it's been a difficult one. Obviously, I'm going to speak to the hip hop space. A lot of them are playing piano now.
Ish.
So I don't know who's out there.
Hey.
But for me, I have to go. Yeah, I would have to. It's in their bios.
It says in the former hip-hop.
They
I
listen
would
to.
have to go back home to Durban. I'd say Ryan the DJ for me, man. Like technically, sonically, and Durban people just love their R&B. So for me, he's able to take that top 40 radio stuff, but then marry it like with the stuff I like. So
Love
I
that.
would say him.
We want to play a quick game with you, Courtney.
Yes.
We want to play a quick game on like,
It's called Rank This Thing.
yeah.
It's
So,
a working
like-
title.
Blind ranking.
Oh yeah, okay, it's simple.
Blind
Yeah,
ranking.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh,
Blind rank
rank
these
this
names,
thing.
right? Blind rank these names in terms of dancing.
Yeah.
We're gonna give you the list. You're gonna say who's number 1 and who's number 5.
Are these are these things people?
Yes, they did.
People.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
are you-
go.
Can I go?
Wait,
No,
so
no,
what's
no,
the
let-
ranking system?
1 to
Okay.
5.
Okay, and 5 being good.
1 is the best.
Oh, okay.
5 is the worst. Well, not the best.
Okay.
Okay. So these artists, right, and dance level, music and dance level. Missy Elliott, Chris Brown, Sierra,
Yeah.
Michael Jackson,
Jackson, and
and
Usher.
Usher.
Michael Jackson 1,
Thank
Chris
you.
Brown 2, Usher 3, Sierra, Missy Elliott.
That's actually a good.
Yeah, it is. Because when I think about Missy Elliott, she influenced the culture a lot. But in
Like,
terms of
if we were
movement,
talking influence, she would have been much higher up for me.
yes.
But if we're talking just
movement,
Dance.
danceability, that's
Yeah.
my order.
I think Chris Brown is number 1.
My brother, Michael Jackson.
Where do you think Chris Brown got his blueprint from?
But he improved the blueprint. Now he has a maroon.
Improved it?
Yeah, it's a
No one has been able
Titi.
to better that blueprint.
Michael Jackson. 1.
Did you know who's Michael Jackson?
I know him.
And not Michael
Who else
Blackson.
do you
'cause
know
I know
who
you
has
mean
been
Michael
told by
Blackson.
people?
You
Yeah,
said Michael Blackson.
not
Maybe
Michael
that's where you're getting
Blackson.
it confused. Man.
Jackson.
No, I know
Janet's
what you
brother.
But Chris Brown, have you seen the things Chris Brown can do?
Do you
Through
know
whose
Michael
inspiration?
Jackson?
True.
So here's the thing.
Inspiration.
Can I just, I'll settle this very quickly. There's a lot that Chris Brown can do that's amazing, but most of us can probably do it too. And then there's stuff that Michael Jackson does that only he can do in that specific way. Like, he didn't invent the moonwalk, in case people didn't know that. Somebody else did, but he managed to take that thing and make it what it was.
And
so it's not that Michael Jackson is just like, you couldn't stump his yard. No, but he just had that thing where you're not going to touch that thing.
All right.
So it doesn't matter how many twerks, backflips, whatever.
Hey.
Okay.
Speaking of Stomp the Yard, let's go to movies now.
Yes.
Your best movies, right?
Let's go the list.
Top 5.
Yeah.
Stomp the Yard. You Got Served. Honey. Step Up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Revolution. Number 3.
How she moves.
No, I'd rather go with number 1, because number 3, ish.
Number 3 with Matt Chad. Are you kidding me? Okay, and how she moves.
But are we talking about the dancers or the movie? Because then that's a different conversation.
No,
The
the movies.
movies. Because
Let's
it's,
have that list of
the
movies.
movie.
Okay, wait. So, number 1 for me, You Got Served.
Oh,
Yeah.
Of course.
All right?
Of course.
And I know a couple of the guys that were in that, so I know some of them. It's quite cool. Right? So I'm going to go with that.
Flex. My
No,
man,
I know. You know the guy at the end that's doing he's got the blue tracksuit pants? He coached me for a little while, yeah.
That's dope.
Even the Jabberwockies, I know quite a few of them.
No way.
Oh, yes, Courtney.
Good friends of mine.
Pela Courtney is a world athlete.
No, but like they came to South Africa. Well, one of them, Rainan, came a couple years ago. I want to say 2016. And generally when I travel, they're at the same events. They've managed to change the game. They have an actual show in Vegas. You know, like Usher
Yeah, the
will do
Vegas
and blah,
show,
blah, blah.
yeah.
Those dancers are employed.
Courtney, I need to
insurances,
talk
blah,
to
blah,
you
blah.
about a friend
But
of mine.
anyway,
You
let's
need to
continue.
hook him up.
Courtney, like
okay.
my life. Are you? Oh my word.
Let's go.
You can't do it.
Maybe that's me in the
Just
mask.
I know, right? And that branding is crazy.
No,
they
they're
can
nuts.
live
They are,
forever
yeah.
because they can duplicate like
Yeah.
so many, man, like
Yeah.
yeah.
What do we say? You got served.
You got served, yes.
What is the next ones?
Well, the options is honey.
Honey, I'm gonna put at 3.
Three,
You already
okay.
know.
Yeah.
I need step
Stomp
up,
the yard.
Stomp the yard. How she moves.
Okay, Honey goes to 4, Stomp the Yard to 3. I want to say Step Up in number 2 because it was a really big movie. But no, I'm not gonna go for number 3. I want number 1.
Oh.
Just based on like the impact, like it was. And what was the last one? Step
I
Up.
agree with that one.
Step Up.
How she moves.
What is that?
You don't know how she moves.
No,
It's a movie about how she moves.
no.
She's moving and then
Who's dancing
You
in
don't know
that?
how she moves.
No, I know. I move.
she's busy moving and then
Am I the she? No, I don't know that one. I won't lie.
So that's no one is number 5.
Yeah.
Next one, Titi.
Okay. Well, no, that
was
was
those
the
two.
last
Those
one
were
of
the
our
games.
games.
What's how she moves?
We're unfortunately running out of time. But there's a last thing here. The big 3 debate here.
Yeah.
Between Kendrick, J. Cole, and Drake. Which one is your favorite there?
So rank them according to those
To the
thi-
GOAT levels.
Yeah.
Because that's what's hype now.
Yeah.
For me, like, I don't know why people are even arguing about this. Like, Drake sits at number 1.
Where's Kelvin?
Without a
You'd
second
love to
what?
hear this.
Overall. Are we
Drizzy.
talking just lyrically? Or are we talking, like, what are we talking about? But if
We're
you're
talking about
overall,
everything.
Drake.
Drape, everything.
Drake.
Everything, guys.
This is a
Drake,
weird conversation for us to have.
Why? Okay, let me hear. Because here's my thing. Kendrick's whole thing is now, you're acting black. Is that man not black? So now you must argue that somebody was born half black and half white, whatever the story is. For me, that's like what are we even talking about? If we're talking about overall impact, sales, listenership, stream, like,
Drake takes. That's
Guys,
look what I'm
everything.
saying, guys. Look what I'm saying, and I'm gonna take it back home. And I know it's not fair because,
Yeah.
one has departed, one is still here, but
oh, yeah.
back home,
Yes.
it's the same. Where we have one artist who would outweigh the other one in terms of sales and this and hype and whatever.
Yes.
But then the other one was more was more lyrically.
Yes.
Whatever,
Yes.
So I want to say things
Okay,
without
I get
mentioning
you.
names.
No, I get you on that
So
one.
now I'm
Okay.
gonna go back to the Drake and Kendrick where I go,
Yes.
cool. It's one thing to be commercial, to sell out, to have all these things, to be the guy, because
Yes.
that's who Drake is. Like
Yes.
Drake has a song for every occasion. His
Yeah.
catalog is unmatched. He's gonna go down in history as one of the most played artists. But lyrically,
So that's why she's asking.
what-
she said,
but
is
what
it
I'm gonna
holistically
say-
or lyrically?
Saw.
But what I'm
Fengo,
gonna say-
Fengo.
What I'm gonna say is, let me put this on the table
That's why
first
she
and
asked
foremost.
overall.
Like my favorite song of all time, Composure. Firstly, I'm gonna put that out there. I can
Okay.
like that's probably my wedding song.
all right.
Like from
Okay.
top to bottom, boom, boom. You must know. Like
You must
so, I understand what you mean. However, I think Drake's got that right too. Like you're saying, there's a song for everything. If you're talking just bar for bar, every song goes sharp. You can't deny Kendrick. But what is this competition now? Is it going to become where we're pulling at straws to say where he's better and where he's not? I think that Drake, you can't deny the lyrical ability. He's done it multiple
He's
times.
got writers, and I think that's what the fight is also.
I don't. Have you seen the writers?
If we
I
say
haven't seen
lyrically,
the writers.
Who's seen the writers?
Who's seen
Because
the-
I can't
I
speak to
mean,
the
I
writers.
saw them.
You've seen the writers?
he credits them on the songs. He even mentioned him on one of the other songs.
Like a lot of
lyrically,
writers.
I would agree with you lyrically, but overall, Drizzy.
Yeah, for me, overall, because
That
again,
makes the
it's like,
balance.
yeah, guys, there's just
Courtney,
too many
I'm
things.
challenging you to a dance battle right now.
Yeah,
brother,
let's settle this on the
anytime.
dance
Winner
floor.
takes his
Because
other's shoes.
We're not gonna win, and poor J. Cole didn't even get mentioned in that
Oh.
top 3.
No, we are sorry. We are
He loves
sorry.
himself. He says, love yours.
We are sorry that he didn't get mentioned.
You're talking
Just
a lot
'cause
that
he's
my
got
brain is-
dreads.
Yeah. No, so, Ash, lyrically, okay.
Kendrick.
Lyrically, Kendrick,
Overall, Drizzy.
for me, Drake is like my MVP, like overall. But if you're gonna start to pull out, like,
Things.
it's like if me as a dancer, as a twerker, I'm not great. But if you're going to say who here can do the best handstand, it's me.
So Drake is a twerker.
Maybe.
You
Maybe.
said winner takes whose shoes?
Yeah, winner takes shoes and pants in a battle. Because I know
Let's
that's
go.
my size.
Let's go.
What do you mean? Okay, let's go. Why? My shoes on
Are
the
we
line.
ready?
Yeah. Are we,
Okay, so are you going to show us
You're gonna
first?
teach us like a young boy routine.
How's your knees?
I'm old. I'm someone's father.
I know. And shout out. I remember the first time he comes to my house, he's like, my daughters love you on TikTok. I'm like, yo. Like, I was happy, but I'm like, hey,
Are we that
that's all
old?
I am now. Like, now I'm just a
That's right.
TikToker.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
Okay.
teach us
Courtney,
ready. Let's
let's
do
go.
this thing.
Okay.
All right.
Oh.
Okay. So the first thing, we are going to go to the top.
Okay.
I'm going to teach something
Robert
called...
and I are up here already.
No. The top or on the floor. I'm going to teach you something called a CC.
It's Titi.
But it's the C.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to be on the floor like this. And the thing about breaking is a lot of things happen on your haunches, so you never want to be like sunken in. Must always feel like you're at right? Then this foot is going to go out like this. This hand is going to go here. You're going to do this. And you're going to come back.
Yeah. Okay.
I
Yeah.
told you these leggings were too tight. Sorry. So you know the jeans. Leggings for men. Right? So as you're going over, you're going to go to the toe. Right? That's what that foot does. Bang. And then this knee is going to connect to that knee, and this leg is going to come out. So you can put the other hand down for safety if you want. Bah. So to music for like 15. Yeah, but it's in my pocket. You're going to do it like this.
All right. Hey. Okay, yeah, no. Oh, so you are saying we must repeat, repeat.
Yeah, no, we're going to
Go on,
go
okay.
one by one.
You go first. No.
Courtney's going to hit first.
But I just did it.
You're the popcorn.
I just did it.
Oh.
Oh. Oh. Sabankena. Yeah. You hit me with one. All right. Bona. Ish.
That's my new shoes.
Yeah. This is the uncle. Hold on. Hey.
Now you're ready.
Hey.
I trust you. You can hold this way.
Hey. Ish. Yay.
I'm dying. Bang. You know what I mean? Uh-huh. New crew coming soon.
New crew coming soon. Yo. This
Have a
is
seat.
Courtney. This is tiring. Yo. Okay.
I think you lost weight there too.
I know. We lost weight. Courtney, we are super excited about your journey.
Yes.
Yo, I'm getting old. guys. We're so excited about your journey to the Olympics. We can't wait for you to rep us. Is there any crew that you rep here besides the crew of you that you want to be like, like you're doing this for?
No, man. Like, I think growing up, I was in a handful of crews, but no, currently just the South African one.
The South Africa. So you're repping us.
Hey.
Yo, man, we're super proud of your journey.
Wait, can I just say, everybody's dying here. Like,
Yo, don't everybody.
That's why I'm trying to close
No.
quickly.
Not everybody.
You can even.
yeah,
you
you
can
made
have
it.
the shoes.
The people like, give their shoes out.
Yo, you can have them. Yo.
Thank
Where's
you.
DJ? DJ, where are you?
You want these shoes?
Sharp.
Out here.
Thank you. Sharp.
Yo.
Yo. No, but honestly, thank you so much for joining us on Super Sport Unplugged.
Yes,
This is the world of champions, and you are our champion, representing us to the rest of the world. So we want to thank you for all the time, effort, and everything you put into building your craft. It's led you to this point. We can't wait to see you on that global stage.
Yes.
Yo, man,
I'll
thank you
take
so
it,
much.
guys. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank
Been
you
a
for
vibe.
sharing
Thank
your
you.
journey, the insights, your mind. Like, we're really inspired, and we're praying that the people that are watching this are gonna hear your cry too. And on God, you're gonna get sponsors. You're gonna get things that are gonna help us
I appreciate it.
take everything to the top, man.
Yeah, man.
And we'll support where we
And please,
can
guys,
too,
also
you know?
support Popcorn and Cheese. They don't have a studio like this one. They're looking for, like, yeah, I'll cry.
Oh, no, that's why you're our first guest.
You see?
Yeah, that's why you're our first guest.
Yeah, I'll cry. Please see the link with the backer buddy in the bio. We're gonna rock.
Yo, man, to anyone watching this out there, South Africa, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
Courtney is representing us on a global stage. Let's represent her. Let's back her up.
Qualifies this
Let's give
month.
her everything she needs to make this a possibility. Courtney, I want to say many people might have slept on you back in the day. They might have slept at you when you were dancing at the Indian
Like
shows.
while I was dancing there.
Yeah, gone.
The Bollywood.
They might have slept on you as a DJ. They might have slept on you as a kickboxer. But I want to say here, officially, on Popcorn and Cheese Super Sport Unplugged, that we have never slept on you. And as a token of our appreciation, we want to give you this pillow to remind yourself, because we are people of the South,
Yeah.
we want to remind you that many might have slept on you, but here on Popcorn and Cheese, we are not sleeping on you and your talent.
Nah, guys, thank you
We
so
saw you
much. I
came
love
back
this.
and
And shout
we're
out to you guys. Like, I'm very proud of the work you've done. I've actually known these two for far too long.
Yeah,
So to see how far they've come is amazing. But thank you for taking the time and sharing your voices.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching a super special episode of Super Sport Unplugged, proudly brought to you by Popcorn and Cheese, right here at the World of Champions. That was our guest, the one and only Courtnaé
Yes.
Esmeralda. What's your second name?
Constant.
Constance.
Constant.
Courtnaé.
Consistent. Yeah.
Constantinides.
And of course, ladies and gentlemen, the man behind the screen, the ghost man boy,
He's
Tito
on
Turmeric,
now.
the barbarian.
No shoes.
With no shoes.
You lost your shoes in the battle. And of course, a man who is half man, half machine, Robert the boy.
Yes.
Yo, my name is Pops Murikwane. It's been a pleasure and a privilege being with you guys today. From the corn that pops,
And the cheese that's great.
we are Robo Pops. And just like Courtnaé Paul's Olympic qualifiers, we are out.
Yes.
Esmeralda!
Yes.
You make us proud!
Yeah.